in the UFC Bantamweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, a mixed martial artist holding a professional record, 23 wins, 3 losses. He stands 5 feet 8 inches tall, weighing in at 135 pounds. Fighting out of San Diego, California, presenting the former WEC Bantamweight champion, the former UFC Bantamweight champion, and the number 9 ranked UFC Bantamweight contender in the world, Dominick the Dominator Cruz. And now introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, a mixed martial artist holding a professional record, 19 wins, 6 losses, 1 no contest. He stands 5 feet 6 inches tall, weighing in at 135 and 1/2 pounds. Fighting out of Sao Paulo, Brazil, presenting the number 8 ranked UFC Bantamweight contender in the world, Pedro, the Young Punisher. When the action begins, our referee in charge, Mark Goddard.
Mark Goddard, our referee for this one. The lovely Camila Oliveira with us tonight. Glad you are too. As we close out the pay-per-view portion of 2021, Dominick Cruz slightly on the underdog tonight. Minus 105. Pedro Munoz slightly favored, minus 115. This fight clock is brought to you by Modelo. Cruz in white, Munoz in black, and we are underway.
One of the things about Dominick Cruz and the footwork that Joe talked about is his ability to move in and out. He's very fast, and it showed in the Casey Kenny fight that even as he's been away for a while, as he's starting to make another run towards trying to become a champion, that speed is still very evident when he's in the octagon.
And interesting, look at Pedro's ankles. He's got them fully taped up, and he's got wraps over the tape. That could be because he's planning on kicking a lot of calves and shins.
Yes.
And Cruz usually goes for those ankle wraps when allowed. He does not wear them tonight. Perhaps a good sign about how he's feeling. Toyo Tires, the official tire of UFC.
Pedro just missed with that head kick. I mean, that trimmed the hair off of Dominick Cruz.
Right hand from Cruz gets through. He told us he was looking forward to getting back to fighting a conventional fighter to really let his combinations flow. Ooh! Nice body kick from Munoz after Cruz landed a cracking left hand upstairs.
It's the stance switches of Dominick Cruz. When he enters in one way, and by the time that the punches are landing, his stance is completely changed. He's off to the side. He's not where he thought he would be. And it's hard to really figure out the puzzle that is Dominick Cruz. And Joe, like you said on the wall, Alpha Male fought him so many times before they figured out a way to defeat him with Cody Garbrandt.
But Cody had the right set of skills and the game plan. There was a lot of things that came together that allowed Cody to defeat Dominick. But he was a puzzle for so long. And you gotta give him credit for that because his style is something he completely invented himself to avoid damage. He decided to figure out, like, what's the best way to have a long career? Don't get hit. What's the best way to not get hit? Move your feet a lot. Move and do it in a way where you can't be timed. No one knows what you're doing. I mean, he does stuff that no one does. Like he hops back and puts both of his feet together. Massive leg from Munoz. Caught him clean.
Cruz goes face first to the canvas. Munoz trying to close it out.
Pedro Munoz got some serious power.
Dominick's got a Peterson there. Look at him take the Peterson. Now it's going to be on Pedro Munoz to try to trap that arm. We saw this way back in the beginning of the UFC. One guy had a Peterson. He just started dropping hammer fists from this position.
Gary Goodrich
Gets
Paul Herrera.
Yep. Great job by Cruz recognizing not letting his arm get trapped.
So, 2+ minutes to go here, round 1.
He got hit with some big shots and rocked more than once. And Pedro Munoz is now sharpshooting, just looking for that opening to land one of those big hands again.
Pedro caught him in the middle of one of those switches, right? Because every time you switch, you got to kind of square up a little bit. He caught him in the middle of a switch and landed a beautiful right hand.
range fairly consistently now. He's landed 59% of his strikes thus far.
Good low kick there from Munoz.
And that did immediate damage to the inside of Cruz's leg.
Munoz got caught there. Dominick caught him with the right hand.
And one thing we know about Pedro Munoz is he can take a shot. You remember when him and Cody Garbrandt were going crazy on each other, and it was him getting hit until he landed and Cody went down. So you can't play the I'll take one to give one against Pedro Munoz.
Another thing to think about with Pedro is he's a very high-level Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. You hardly see it because most of his fights. Oh, look at this. Dom's got his neck here.
Down on the front headlock.
Beautiful knee to the body.
Under a minute to go in the round. Cruz also does pride himself on his ability to withstand damage in fights. Very hard guy to put away.
Well, Cruz has responded beautifully to this. Not many people can, because after being hurt that badly, he's had really good moments in the last couple minutes of the first round.
He's definitely gotten Pedro's respect with some of those punches.
These guys struck up a friendship in 2015 when Dominick was in Brazil to call Munoz's fight against Jimmy Rivera. Oh, beautiful combination from Cruz.
That was a nice left hook by Cruz.
Munoz seemingly eats it without issue. He attacks the body now. Nice connection by Cruz late in the round. But some big moments in the middle of that round, including a couple knockdowns for Munoz.
And let's take a look at them here real quick. You see Dominick Cruz standing right. It's a jab that hurt him. Jab caught him in the middle of a wild swing. He's off balance as well. And look at this left hook. And the left hook was bad. I mean, his whole body went limp, arms dropped. He was in real trouble there.
Just going on instinct at that point, right?
Hey, that mixing is in. Remember the exits in. So you throw a combination, whatever you throw, step in, under, or under. Okay? Don't pull back so much.
What a fantastic matchup.
Oliveira, longest active win streak in the UFC.
Dustin Poirier's beaten world champions. He's here to get his hand raised.
I'm going to win by any means necessary.
Amanda Nunes!
The greatest of all time.
There's no one even close to her. Who is going to rise to challenge Amanda Nunes?
Juliana Pena!
I am here and I am ready to fight.
2 championship fights.
No mercy.
The UFC 269 prelims are presented by Modelo. Eric Del Fierro acknowledging to Dominick Cruz that he lost that first round just given the damage from Munoz, but Cruz had his moments.
Especially to end the round. So I'm encouraged if I'm Team Cruz because it feels like he was able to work his way back into the round, even though it'll be hard to think that you could have won the first round after getting dropped twice. Eric told him, you lost the round because he dropped you, but Dominick had some moments there.
It's in those wild haymakers that Dominick throws that he kind of gets reckless and keeps his hands down low. And Pedro Munoz has clearly done his homework and looked at tape. And he timed it brilliantly with that jab. The jab that started it all off.
Well, it's because when Dom enters, right, all the momentum's going forward.
Yes.
So if you get a punch meeting that momentum coming forward, it really does hurt you.
But all credit to Dom for surviving that and coming back to have some great moments.
Yes.
27 pro fight for Munoz. He has never been finished.
Well, the toughness of Pedro Munoz was on full display in the fight against Jose Aldo. He took some real shots against Aldo, who's proven to be just who we always thought he was. And Pedro was in there for 3 rounds with him and had to go through the fire to stay standing against Jose.
All right, this coach's cam is brought to you by Jose Cuervo Tequila as we check in with Alliance MMA's Eric Del Fierro.
1-2 reload, GSP, 1-2. Yes. Yup, go with the left. Yup, go with the fake the right. Let it go. Fake the right, straight left. Left kick's coming. 2 punches. Good. Nice. Hey, nice.
Corner like the response from Cruz there. Inside leg kick lands flush for Munoz.
I mean, Cruz is getting there. He's much faster than Pedro. So when he throws his jab out there as a feeler, and then he sits back and throws the right hand.
He's checking a lot of those low calf kicks as well. And the corner like that.
Yeah, I was wondering why they were excited. Now I know. Shot from Munoz now. Cruz wise to it. Under 3 minutes to go, round 2.
Cruz is staying very active in front of Pedro Munoz. And honestly, first round started like this too. He just has to avoid the mistakes that really did cost him in round number 1. Because Munoz is waiting. He's got power in his hands and knows that if he can land now, he can hurt Dominick Cruz.
Dean Thomas, what do you have, sir?
You know, for as unpredictable as Cruz is with his style, he's better served keeping that and staying disciplined with being unpredictable. Because I can promise you, I know Pedro Munoz, and he's waiting for another opportunity for Dominick Cruz to come in and have an exchange with him, because that is the fight that he wants.
Good left hand by Cruz.
And that cut Pedro open. Nice little combination from Cruz.
This is a beautiful round by Dominick Cruz. Pedro's hardly landed anything in round number 2 because Cruz is fighting at his pace and really dictating the engagements and not looping punches as he did in round number 1. And then he loops the left hook there.
But this is vintage Dominick Cruz in terms of footwork, the unpredictable movement. He feints that he's coming in, then it backs up. It's so hard to figure out what he's up to.
Munoz attacks the body, just over a minute to go now in the round.
He's just such an intelligent guy, so it's so interesting to see that intelligence translated into this style.
Just made Munoz miss a couple of times there a moment ago. Yeah, Cruz moving his head well now.
And I think that's one of the underrated things about Dominick Cruz is
Good stuff. Cruz teeing off.
A huge response from the former two-time champ in round 2.
a beautiful round from Dominick Cruz. And as I was saying, one of the things that's not really noticed is how tough he is.
I'm telling you, man.
You know, he's a very tough guy. He always says, I'm Tucson tough when I need to be. And that's showing right now in this fight with Pedro Munoz. This has been a beautiful round by Dominick Cruz.
This is vintage Dominick Cruz. He really hurt him with that low calf kick there as well. Oh. Good head movement there by Munoz.
Nice late kick from Munoz, but a big second round response from Cruz. 5 minutes to go.
To open roads, then roads less traveled. We make tires tough enough for the most remote and rugged places. Places you don't have to share with anyone else. Unless they also have Toyo tires.
Peaceful up here, right?
Forrest?
Here for a soak? Said it was a two-man.
No, man.
It's got bubbles. I think we can both fit.
It's everything I wished for.
I told you she'd love her new 5G phone from Cricket.
I see that.
It's everything you wished for, including the price.
With Ring Alarm, when there was carbon monoxide spreading through our house, we got a call from Ring Professional Monitoring right away.
It's a carbon monoxide alarm. We've dispatched the fire department.
Ring Alarm helps save our lives.
Shop holiday deals now at ring.com.
Round 3 is brought to you by P3, the official protein snack of UFC. So at one point, if you care on the live odds, Munoz had swelled to a nearly -500 favorite. Now it flipped. Cruz, a 4-1 favorite. That is also predictive in nature, right, given that Cruz was largely dominant in round 2.
Yeah, he really fought well in round 2, and I can understand those live odds.
I tell you what, Mark Goddard's getting a workout. I'm watching this man jump away. When these guys start moving towards him, he's literally got to leap out of the way.
You heard the corner Munoz say, you got to fight for 5 minutes like you've never fought before. So he's got to move and get after Dominick Cruz if he wants to give himself a chance.
Dominick Cruz.
Munoz did a pretty good job to raise the guard there.
But the activity of Cruz.
No doubt about it.
Cruz has been very information for Pedro to try to dissect. And as the second round went on, it seemed as though he was getting more and more confused at trying to solve the puzzle of Dominick Cruz.
Told us he was going to let his combinations flow. That's exactly what he has done. He's thrown almost 100 more strikes than Munoz.
Munoz having a real hard time with the reach advantage as well.
Good point.
And Dominick is keeping him on the very end of those punches, and they're coming 1, 2, 3, 4 at a time. And he doesn't have a chance to reset and counter.
Well, because Cruz is gone.
Yes.
The moment Dom finishes his punches,
caught him there.
He caught him with a nice right hand, yes.
And that was acknowledged by a deep breath from Cruz. 3.5 minutes to go.
But it's in between that. In between the one right hand that Pedro landed, Dominick will throw 10, 15, 20 different strikes before Pedro lands anything else.
Yeah, Pedro's hitting a lot of air. Again with the low calf kick by Cruz and the ducker. Look at that beautiful footwork.
He sort of works off of a figure 8 mentality. He's got a whole footwork program now online.
Nice knee to the body by Cruz. Pedro's hunting for him. Dom ducked under. Dom looking for the takedown.
And even if Dominick just throws those takedowns out there, just to allow Pedro to realize that there's always something more coming. It's never going to be just what you want it to be in terms of a stand-up fight. It's a big...
Oh, beautiful 1-2.
Pedro Munoz remarkably fighting a current or former UFC champion for the 5th time in his last 6 fights.
Solid jab there by Munoz.
That tells you how special Pedro Munoz is to stay at the top for that long without being a champion yourself.
Beautiful defensive movement by Cruz to avoid all of those offerings from Munoz.
It also shows you how crazy stacked this division is.
Yes.
Highlighted by that recent title fight with Corey Sandhagen.
Petr Yan. Petr Yan's an absolute killer, man.
God,
My goodness, he's good.
He's a murderer.
I always thought he was good, but then watching that, I was like, this dude right here is amazing.
He's so good at knowing when to start hitting the gas, too.
He just breaks people down.
Yeah. Oh! Dominick Cruz on fire.
Beautiful sequence from Cruz. Crowd enjoying his handiwork.
And the head movement as well.
All credit to Dominick, the response, man. When you get hurt like he got hurt in the first round, if you're not in tremendous shape, you don't recover and respond in the way that Dominick Cruz has responded over the course of these last 10 minutes.
Round 3, significant strikes. Cruz well ahead. Another miss from Munoz there.
If you're Pedro Munoz, you got to start cutting off the octagon and trying to set a trap to get Dominick Cruz to get the side of the fence so that he can't move in space. The space is what's the problem for Pedro Munoz.
It's that, and I think he's got to use the hands to set up kicks as well.
Yes,
he's got to fake
away.
Yeah, fake the hands and use them just to close the distance to set up kicks. Now as I say that, Dom catches the kick and throws him to the ground. But I think he's bewildered at this point.
Yeah, I think that's a good adjective.
He thought he had him hurt real bad in the first, and he did. But didn't expect that Dom would be teeing off on him in the second and the third.
Right.
But that is the case.
Every time we sit down with Cruz, he talks about his ability to take damage. And in this type of matchup, he knew he was fighting a knockout artist.
That's why he was so upset when the Cejudo fight was stopped early.
Right. Seconds of this one. Good stick by Munoz.
Munoz is just manipulative.
But what a champion's response by Dominick Cruz in rounds 2 and 3. The official scorecards coming your way next from Vegas. Stay close.
If Philly Garcia didn't have the fighting spirit to drive his ambition, he never would have left home for LA with only his car to sleep in. If he listened to those who rejected him, he never would have sold that car to pay for his dream. And if he lacked the will to improve his craft, he never would have made a name for himself, lining up some of the biggest names in pro sports. That's the fighting spirit. That's what makes a lion. Modelo, root for those with a fighting spirit.
a Pizza Hut can give to you. 5 breadsticks for my triple treat. 3 layers deep. 10 Cinnabon mini rolls to eat. And the pizza plus another pizza. It's the Pizza Miracle! The triple treat box only from Pizza Hut. No one else pizzas the Hut.
Well, next Saturday, how about the final event of the year shaping up as a good one? The wildly popular Derek Lewis set to let his fist fly against the rising Philly-based heavyweight contender Chris Dawkins. Also, Stephen Thompson against Bilal Muhammad in the co-main event. The main card, 7 p.m. Eastern, prelims prior at 4. All right, the official decision is brought to you by The Matrix Resurrections in theaters and on HBO Max December 22nd, rated R. With the decision, here is Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds, we go to the judges' cars for a decision. All 3 judges score this contest 29-28 for the winner by unanimous decision, Dominick the Dominator Cruz.
I am here with the winner, Dominick Cruz. And Dom, as I said to you when I walked up to you after the fight, I said that was vintage Dominick Cruz.
I was able to get my sparring rounds in, so I felt good tonight. Thank you so much to the fans, everybody who's followed me up to this point. Hey, let's take the time, guys. It's important we all come together right now more than ever. We got to stay connected. While they're trying to keep us separate, come together. That's where the power's at, baby. Let's go.
Thank you for that. Your footwork and your movement was on point tonight, but there was a moment in the first round where you got clipped. How badly were you hurt?
Honestly, I thought I slipped, so I get that. I guess that tells you where I was at.
Well, you definitely did slip, but you also got hit while you slipped. But you rebounded, and that's what's important.
Thank you for the ref, Mark Goddard, for giving me a chance to rebound. That's good reffing tonight. It's been a great organization. Vegas always does an outstanding job getting us ready for these fights and facilitating. And the people in Vegas, I live here too. This is my home state. Here in California, I go back and forth. Thank you guys so much. Again, come together. We must stay together right now. It's important. Love you all.